Welcome to the course on ecotourism and nature-based tourism. This course is part of the SUSTOR project, focusing on environmental sustainability in tourism. It is led by Professor Ida Pinos, a distinguished faculty member from the Department of Human Geography at the University of Granada, Spain. With her extensive expertise in the intersection of geography, tourism, and sustainability, Professor Pinos offers a nuanced understanding of these critical topics. This module, Ecotourism and Nature-Based Tourism, delves into the principles, impacts, and management of tourism in natural environments. It examines key concepts such as sustainability, community engagement, and the positive and negative implications of ecotourism. Through global case studies and geographical insights, the course highlights the role of ecotourism as a tool for conservation and local development. Join us in exploring how tourism can evolve to support both the environment and local communities while offering enriching experiences for travelers. This course equips participants with the knowledge and tools to contribute to a more sustainable and responsible future in tourism. Ecotourism and nature-based tourism are two forms of tourism that have gained special relevance in the current context, characterized by an increasing interest in sustainability and the conservation of natural resources. These activities not only offer enriching experiences for travelers, but also generate opportunities for economic and social development, especially in rural or marginalized communities. Ecotourism, defined as a form of responsible tourism that takes place in natural areas, focuses on environmental conservation, respect for local communities, and the generation of economic benefits that promote sustainable development. According to the International Ecotourism Society, TIES, its essence lies in three fundamental pillars: minimizing environmental impact, fostering learning through environmental education, and ensuring positive experiences for both visitors and host communities. In this sense, ecotourism transcends mere enjoyment of the natural environment, as it incorporates an ethical dimension that makes it a tool for change. Nature-based tourism, on the other hand, encompasses all tourism activities that take place in natural environments, but is not always directly associated with sustainability objectives. Examples of this type of tourism include excursions, outdoor sports, safaris, or recreational activities that, although they may occur in areas of high ecological value, do not necessarily involve a commitment to their conservation or to local communities. The fundamental difference between both modalities lies in their approach and purpose. While ecotourism is defined by its explicit commitment to sustainability, nature-based tourism can adopt more generic forms and at times even pose a threat if not properly managed. For example, while a birdwatching trip in a protected area may be an example of ecotourism, a motorized tour in a desert with no environmental impact restrictions would be more representative of nature-based tourism. 2. Characteristics of ecotourism: supply and demand. Ecotourism supply. The ecotourism supply is closely linked to the preservation of natural areas of high ecological value. These areas are often protected spaces, such as national parks, biosphere reserves, or areas designated as UNESCO World Heritage Sites that aim to guarantee the conservation of ecosystems and biodiversity. The ecotourism supply in these places is oriented to provide immersive experiences in nature, allowing tourists direct contact with the environment. Typical activities include hiking, nature walks, wildlife and plant observation, visits to pristine landscapes, and the enjoyment of exceptional views. Tours are often guided by local experts or biologists who not only provide a deeper understanding of the ecosystems but also explain the environmental issues affecting these places, fostering ecological awareness among tourists. These activities are key to environmental interpretation, as they aim to teach tourists to value biodiversity, understand the balance of ecosystems, and recognize the impact of human activities on the natural environment. The infrastructure associated with ecotourism is a fundamental aspect of its supply, as it is characterized by being of low environmental impact, adapting to sustainability principles. Eco-friendly accommodations are a key element of this type of tourism, as they are built using local, natural, and recycled materials, minimizing the environmental impact during their construction and operation. Additionally, many of these accommodations incorporate ecological practices, such as using renewable energy, solar panels, wind energy, and efficient water management systems, which help reduce their ecological footprint. Waste management practices are also a key component in these destinations, with strategies such as recycling, composting, and the use of biodegradable products, promoting waste reduction and responsible use of resources. Ecotourism not only focuses on environmental conservation but also on the social and economic development of local communities. Many ecotourism destinations involve communities in tourism management, promoting community tourism and local participation. This may include the employment of local guides, the sale of handicrafts, and the promotion of indigenous culture, contributing to a tourism model that generates economic benefits locally without compromising natural resources. Ecotourism demand. Regarding the demand for ecotourism, tourists interested in these types of experiences typically have a particular profile. They are generally individuals with high educational levels and developed environmental awareness. These tourists are often motivated by the search for an authentic experience, allowing them to live in harmony with nature and learn about ecosystems without resorting to mass tourism. They prefer destinations far from large tourist crowds, where they can enjoy pristine landscapes and participate in activities that promote environmental education, respect for biodiversity, and direct contact with local communities. The growth in demand for ecotourism in recent years has been notable, driven by increased environmental awareness and the search for alternatives to conventional, more mass-oriented, and less environmentally respectful tourism. Additionally, younger tourists and so-called conscious travelers have played a key role in this increase, as they demand more personalized, transformative, and ethically aligned travel experiences. These tourists require ecotourism destinations to meet high standards of sustainability, ethics, and social responsibility, which forces tour operators in local communities to adapt to these demands and offer products that respect sustainability principles. In this way, the ecotourism supply continues to evolve, adapting both to tourist expectations and current environmental and social challenges. 3. Spatial distribution of ecotourism. The spatial distribution of ecotourism is deeply influenced by the presence of exceptional natural and cultural resources that function as the main attractions of destinations. These resources are usually found in regions where biodiversity is particularly rich, in landscapes of great beauty, or in fragile ecosystems that require protection. The natural characteristics that define these areas not only attract ecotourists, but also serve as the basis for implementing conservation and sustainability practices. It is important to highlight that, while many of these destinations are located in remote and difficult-to-access areas, their ecological and cultural value justifies the effort to preserve them and promote low-impact tourism. The distribution of these destinations varies depending on global geography, but some key examples of ecotourism worldwide include: in South America, ecotourism is particularly concentrated in the Amazon basin and the Andes, regions that house an impressive biological diversity. The Amazon rainforest is home to countless species of flora and fauna, many of which are endemic and endangered. Additionally, the Andes, with their high plateaus and mountain ecosystems, attract ecotourists with their stunning landscapes and the opportunity to interact with indigenous cultures living in these areas. Local communities play a key role in preserving these resources and educating visitors about the threats these ecosystems face. In Africa, national parks such as Serengeti in Tanzania and the Okavango Delta in Botswana stand out, known worldwide for the abundance of wildlife, including the Big Five: lion, elephant, buffalo, leopard, and rhinoceros, are home to endangered species and are part of international conservation efforts. In this context, ecotourism not only offers a unique wildlife viewing experience, but also promotes the conservation of these natural habitats and contributes to the local economy. In Oceania, one of the most emblematic ecotourism destinations is the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. This coral reef system is considered one of the most diverse and valuable marine ecosystems on the planet. Ecotourism in this area focuses on activities such as diving and snorkeling, allowing tourists to enjoy the beauty of the location while raising awareness about the fragility of these ecosystems and the need for their conservation. In New Zealand, tropical rainforests and mountainous landscapes also attract ecotourists, who visit the region to participate in activities such as hiking, birdwatching, and enjoying terrestrial biodiversity. In Europe, ecotourism is distributed across various areas with high ecological and cultural wealth. The alpine regions of Switzerland, Austria, and France, for example, are key destinations for mountain lovers who enjoy activities like skiing, hiking, and wildlife observation. Additionally, Mediterranean natural parks, such as those in Spain, Italy, and Greece, offer a combination of unique landscapes, stunning coastlines, and rich cultural heritage, attracting both ecotourists and those interested in the historical and cultural heritage of the region. In Italy, ecotourism is particularly focused on its mountains and coastal areas. The Dolomites, for example, are one of the main areas for ecotourism, thanks to their impressive geography, hiking routes, and panoramic views. Moreover, the Amalfi Coast and Cinque Terre offer a combination of natural and cultural beauty, with their cliffside landscapes and turquoise sea, as well as picturesque architecture and local cuisine. In Tuscany and Piedmont, ecotourism focuses on agritourism, where tourists can enjoy rural landscapes and vineyards while learning about sustainable agricultural practices. In Greece, ecotourism is also strongly linked to its islands and coast, as well as its mountains. Destinations like Crete and Peloponnese offer rich biodiversity both in their marine and terrestrial ecosystems, making them ideal places for activities such as hiking, cycling, and birdwatching. In particular, the Aegean and Ionian Islands, like Corfu, feature protected ecosystems that attract ecotourists interested in conservation and enjoying pristine natural landscapes. In Spain, ecotourism is concentrated in several regions that offer a wide variety of natural landscapes. Among the most prominent destinations are the Pyrenees, ideal for mountain sports, Dinana National Park, a wetland of great importance for biodiversity and bird migration, and the Canary Islands, which feature unique volcanic ecosystems and rich biodiversity both terrestrial and marine. Additionally, the Balearic Islands and Picos de Europa are also popular destinations for ecotourists. Seeking both contact with nature and indigenous cultural experiences, Spain's network of protected areas includes 16 national parks and more than 120 natural parks, providing a solid foundation for the development of ecotourism in the country. These areas, protected by environmental legislation, are key to ensuring biodiversity conservation and promoting sustainable tourism. However, the accessibility of these areas and their carrying capacity are factors that must be considered in the development of ecotourism. Many of these areas are located in remote and difficult to access regions, which may limit their ability to receive large numbers of tourists. Nevertheless, efforts to improve transportation infrastructure and increase sustainability practices are essential to guarantee long-term success. Ecotourism not only positively impacts the tourism sector, but it also generates a wide range of benefits that extend across different dimensions. From an environmental perspective, ecotourism plays a fundamental role in the conservation of ecosystems and species. By offering economic incentives for the protection of these natural resources, ecotourism activities help fund key conservation projects, such as the restoration of degraded habitats or the monitoring of endangered species. Activities like wildlife observation or hiking in protected areas allow tourists to directly engage with the natural environment, understanding the importance of its preservation. Thus, ecotourism not only promotes conservation but also creates environmental awareness among visitors, which can generate a virtuous circle of support and funding for the sustainability of resources. From a social perspective, ecotourism has the potential to positively transform local communities, especially those located in rural areas or less favored regions. Through ecotourism, these communities can diversify their sources of income, creating new job opportunities in sectors such as tour guiding, management of sustainable accommodations, organic food production, or the sale of handmade products. Moreover, by involving local inhabitants in the planning and execution of tourism activities, the community is empowered, which strengthens their cultural identity and supports the preservation of their traditions and customs. Economically, ecotourism can play a crucial role in revitalizing marginalized areas by generating a steady flow of tourists who contribute both direct and indirect income to the areas they visit. This type of tourism fosters the development of local infrastructure, such as transportation, improvements in basic services, and the construction of facilities to welcome visitors, which not only improves the living conditions of the local population, but also has multiplier effects on the regional economy. In summary, ecotourism represents an effective strategy for economic and social development in regions that might otherwise have limited growth opportunities, while also contributing to environmental preservation. 5. Negative impacts of ecotourism. Although ecotourism is promoted as a sustainable alternative to conventional tourism, it can generate a number of negative impacts if not properly managed. At the environmental level, one of the main concerns is the pressure that tourism exerts on sensitive ecosystems, which can lead to the degradation of natural habitats. The increase in visitors to protected areas, if not properly regulated, can disrupt the ecological balance and put at risk vulnerable species. Disturbance of wildlife is another important issue, as ecotourism activities such as hiking or animal watching can interrupt the natural behavioral patterns of species, affecting their reproduction and survival. Additionally, although ecotourism infrastructure is usually designed to have low environmental impact, its construction can alter ecosystems if not carried out responsibly. The building of roads, accommodations, and other tourist services can modify landscapes and cause soil erosion, alteration of water bodies, or habitat fragmentation. At the social level, ecotourism can also generate tensions between local communities and tour operators. When the economic benefits derived from ecotourism are not distributed equitably, conflicts may arise, especially if communities do not perceive tangible improvements in their living conditions. Furthermore, the excessive commercialization of local cultures can be another negative effect, as some traditions and customs may lose their authenticity when transformed into a tourist attraction to meet market expectations. This can lead to the depersonalization of cultural experiences and the exploitation of local identities. Economically, although ecotourism can be an important source of income for rural regions, it can also create unsustainable dependencies. When tourism becomes the primary source of income for a community, any disruption in tourism activities, as occurred during the COVID-19 pandemic, can have devastating effects on the local economy. In such cases, the lack of economic diversification makes communities vulnerable to fluctuations in the tourism market and unpredictable global events. Therefore, it is essential for communities that depend on ecotourism to implement strategies that allow them to adapt to changes in the market and reduce their vulnerability to external crises. 6. Sustainable management of ecotourism. Form geography. Geography, as a discipline that studies the relationship between humans and their environment, offers essential tools for the sustainable management of ecotourism. One of the main strategies is territorial planning, which allows for identifying the most suitable areas for ecotourism development, establishing carrying capacity limits, and implementing measures to mitigate negative impacts. Cartography and geographic information systems (GIS) are crucial for analyzing the spatial distribution of tourist flows, assessing ecosystem vulnerability, and planning routes that minimize environmental impact. Additionally, the zoning of protected areas, including the creation of core, buffer, and sustainable use zones, helps balance conservation and development. On the other hand, environmental education and community participation are fundamental pillars to ensure the success of ecotourism. These strategies not only raise awareness among tourists, but also empower local communities, fostering their involvement in the management of natural resources. Naturales. 7. Trends and challenges of ecotourism in the 21st century. Ecotourism faces significant trends and challenges in the 21st century. On one hand, there is a growing demand for authentic and sustainable experiences, driven by greater environmental awareness and the aging population in developed countries. This translates into opportunities to diversify the tourism offering and develop new nature-based initiatives. On the other hand, climate change presents a critical challenge, as it directly affects the ecosystems that support ecotourism. The loss of biodiversity, the increase in extreme weather events, and the transformation of natural landscapes are some of the threats that require urgent responses. Furthermore, the COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the need to develop more resilient and sustainable tourism models, prioritizing public health, environmental conservation, and the well-being of local communities. Digitalization and the use of technologies such as GIS and augmented reality are also transforming the way ecotourism is planned and experienced. In summary, ecotourism and nature-based tourism represent a unique opportunity to promote sustainability, conservation, and local development. However, to maximize its benefits and minimize its negative impacts, It is essential to adopt an integrated approach that combines geographic tools, sustainability principles, and the active participation of all involved stakeholders. In this way, these tourism modalities can become drivers of positive change for both people and the planet. Thank you for your time.